What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Locker Room Sports, a little extra show edition here on a Thursday night. As soon as I went to hit the live button at 6, and the internet's still lagging right now. So as soon as I hit go live, bam, the internet just took a crap here. So it's come up a storm here. Yeah, I see the trees and stuff blowing around up here. But anyway, welcome to Locker Room Sports. This is just an extra show. There's a lot of stuff going on, and we will be back live and tracking down that road for high school football all around here in the state of Alabama, and, of course, a lot of college football talk. Georgia, recruiting, we're going to look at that. They lost a guy, and we're going to talk about it. Alabama, Kellen DeBoer, and Courtney Morgan is – look, Courtney Morgan's background is from Wall Street, and we can definitely see why. How he's got a background in Wall Street because he's figured it out. Okay, let me fix this a little bit. He's really just figured it out. Alabama's just been on a big tear, and there's also some questions that we had from kind of a. Not a random question, but no, just be honest. I mean, it's my show and it's for you people, and I'm just the honest kind of person. If you've been on here following us for a while, I don't really pull punches because I really don't care. Kind of a silly, snide remarks from the team down the road, from some of their people, their media people, like to ask a question like, why is there this concern about Auburn recruiting? Why is there such, things, the mean spitefulness, not really towards the university, but it's kind of geared more towards the coach that they feel like. Well, we'll talk about that. I'm writing this down here, make sure also, AJ McCarron made comments kind of on that same line of stuff, and we can bring it up and we can talk about it. You can hit the comments over here. Good Thursday evening, getting a little shower out there. So this is kind of I just wanted to come on and go through some news. There's a lot of different stuff going on, and we can't put it all in Sunday's show. So, I have to kind of – I'm probably going to try to do Tuesday evenings and Thursday evenings to cover like news and – maybe recruiting kind of stuff. And then on the Sunday shows, we'll get right into, what you guys want to hear about for Sunday show. You want to hear about the games from Friday night and from Saturday when all that stuff starts in the season here in a month. Well, 6 weeks. So we'll start talking about that, and we'll use – sorry, got the hiccups. And we'll start using that time for that. And Tuesday and Thursday shows are going to be just wide open, call-in type, just, you bring up topics and we'll talk about it. Okay, so Hugh Freeze came on Davey Pollack's show. And kind of the thing here was right up front, I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of – God, this thing is just giving me crap today, man. It's just lagging. See, it's showing I'm live right now, and it's not even giving me a feed. Okay, there we go. And everybody's got their own opinion about it, and AJ has the right to his own opinion. He's a multiple national champion many times there at Alabama. So it don't matter if he ain't. He's still got a right to comment on it. So comments that AJ McCarron made about Hugh Freeze. We'll just start from the front. This is reported from he was on, I think I call it the Dynasty podcast, and it's him and Trent Richardson. What's up, guys? It's him, Trent Richardson, and the guy that calls he's the PA guy at Tuscaloosa now. Well, he's been around Alabama football forever. What is his name? Is it Gary something? Anyway, so McCarron comes out and said, now you can agree with what he says or not. I kind of do for most of it. And how he says it some people got their feathers up and got their butt hurt, but I mean, like, dude, I mean, he played at Alabama. If I say it, it don't have the same tone that AJ McCarron carries. Dude, this guy bled, sweat, cried, and give his life to this university, multinational champion. He's the best Alabama quarterback to put on the helmet, to me, Matt McCarron. So his comments are more worthy than mine, is what I'm saying. So I'm just going to read you what he said here. We're talking about recruiting. Right now, Auburn is 71st. They're last in the SEC. McCarron's just saying, look, man, Hugh Freeze is just full of crap. What he's saying is just not completely true. He said, I think that he's just trying to do whatever he can to save face. Okay, so we can digest that part. Yeah, that's not wrong. I mean, who would say that he's not trying to – I mean, all coaches are going to try to save face because it seems like from watching him and Cohen speak, and you can see how Freeze reacts to some of this, he's not happy. He's not happy about it. He knows he's been around a while, and he's from Mississippi. You can play a little baseball over there. It's embarrassing. Let's just be honest. It's embarrassing to Coach Freeze to know that his class is last in the SEC. That's not what he wants. It's not. And the golf thing is they're just kind of being funny. I mean, is he playing golf at times? Yeah, so what? I mean, they all do it. And maybe DeBoer just don't care about golf that much. Maybe he will grow into it later. I don't know. But the job at Auburn and the job at Alabama are they're different. Expectations should be the same, yes, but realistically, there's just not. So he says that he thinks Freeze is just saying a lot of crap to save face. He's starting to feel pressure at Auburn. Yes, of course, he's only won 11 games 2 years. That's not false. He's going into his third year now and not having the success that him, the alumni and boosters, and everybody donating a lot of money thought that he would have had by this point. I think he's trying to figure out and scramble on why they are not successful. I don't know. I mean, even if you're a fan of whoever, nothing that McCarron said right there was nothing he said was wrong. He just said that he thinks Freeze is a little full of it, and he's not being completely transparent about it. And there's some stuff going on behind the scenes that we all don't know about because we're not head coaches at a major university. And he's not happy about it. He's having to put on a different face for the media. But I'm telling you, don't like it. And to try to cover himself, to make himself seem not as bad as what the university is making him look, because they're making him look like an idiot. Because Cohen is saying that through this new system, this overlay system, how NILs are going to work and third-party amounts and anything over $600, it's got to be reported. Or I've talked about it a few weeks ago when all this come out. One of our first shows back in the summer, I broke it down pretty easily for everybody to hear. And that is what Freeze is bothered by. And McCarron he may be kind of like me. I just don't like him, man. I just don't. And it's not because he's at Auburn. I don't hate Auburn. I kind of don't. I'm not a Tennessee fan, for real. I'm really not a big Tennessee fan. And I really hate Notre Dame. I don't hate. There's nothing to – you hate – the word hate is so – it's just a slang used by, the young generation. Oh, he hating on me or, that kind of stuff. Or and people that are saying it, Auburn fans, know that there's no Alabama fan hating on Auburn. That they don't – I mean, we're just talking ball, and it shouldn't be that personal one anyway. But for somebody to really dislike you and you have a jealousy, you would have to want the things that they have. And I don't, a lot of people want, the things that Alabama, the success that they've had. Georgia has some success. Texas A&M spending a lot of money. So those were to say, well, they're hating on us, or that's just a way to deflect from the situation. So what's wrong with McCarrons' comments? Just saying that, Freeze is trying to save some face, and he's got a little pie on his face. And he feels like it's probably been thrown at him by the AD because he's up there smiling and he's running the show. And I've heard other media people say that, well, it looks like Cohen's running the show and we don't understand what the problem is. That's the problem. You just answered your own problem. So these Auburn podcasts, you're answering your own question by saying, we don't know what the problem is. Cohen looks like he's running it and Freeze is sitting over there being number 2 and just doing what he's told to do. That's the problem. Why would the head coach not be running the show? Why would the head coach not be up on what's going on and making the decisions? Why? Why would, the AD is supposed to be there to help out. It just don't seem that way to me. It just seems like Cohen he's scrambling too because he knows too, man. He's not stupid. You're not an athletic director and you're dumb. Okay. They're trying to figure out a way to go to the media because there's people asking questions. Why is it like this? Why are we having such a bad, spot of luck here? AJ just said there's a lot of people give a lot of money, and not only did it, he digressed year 2. Auburn did not get better. He was supposed to have gotten better year 2. And it's not a thing to say, well, there's nothing else to talk about in the summer, so we're just going to dog on Auburn. It's a big deal. It hadn't been, but ten or so years, right out of the decade that they won a national championship and they played for another one. They lost to Florida State. Jimbo beat them. This is not Mississippi State or Arkansas or Vanderbilt. But so you have to have a little bit of, a little transparency would help at Auburn. And that is just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I could do a whole show on just stuff that I've read from Coach Bryant and Coach Dye. They were, at the time that, Pat was around and worked down there and come back and helped at Bama some. I read a lot of stuff about them and how they did things, and it's just not going to be the same. So number one, just stop comparing the two universities. They started out completely different. Auburn was a super, super small place. It was a men's Methodist college. It's called Alabama Polytech later before then they changed to Auburn later. So it's not fair to them really to be, in state and try to compete there. But you got to have a little humility to say, yes, we hadn't done good in a long time, but they're still, they're not dog water. Like I said, Auburn is not Arkansas. It's not Vanderbilt. South Carolina even has not been, Beamer coming there and he's won some games, but they've got a flashy quarterback and we think they're going to be pretty good. We look for them to win 8 or 9 games probably, but Auburn is not Bama or Florida. And Georgia's just come on here recently. Since, in the 80s. So they were a part of, they did win a national championship. So it's not silly for us to sit up here and talk about it. You're supposed to be right in the – Auburn has always kind of felt like to me they're the leader of the middle pack. Like they're probably not going to win it, but out of all the other teams I just mentioned, Auburn's always had the best shot to win a national championship. Way more chances than Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, and LSU, Bama, and Georgia. And then, I mean, Auburn's more relevant than Florida. I mean, they are. Now, Billy's turned it around. He's winning some more games now. And that's the year 3 that Freeze needs this year. This is the year he's going to have to put out. Now, I'll close with this about that. We'll move on. He ought to have things in place by now. Year 3 should be his time to shine and should be a key to what they have there, and him getting his guys in and have 2 top 10 classes. And you just had to see improvement, man. You had to see improvement. And it's just kind of look, it's better for football. It just is. It's better for football if Auburn's good. It's not – there's no rival to any of this if Auburn is not good. There's no rival to the Iron Bowl or none of that. There's none of – it's all useless because they're going for the 5 years straight here, okay? And then that's not where you want to be at. So what I'm going to do here is going to find this. There it is. Okay. We're going to go where Davey. I don't know why they bring in this other guy here. He kind of intros it, and then Davey comes on. Okay, hang on here. Let's see if I can. Let me do this. Present. Share. Yeah. Let me move this around a little bit. Okay. This is new. I don't know if you can see the date on here. This was just uploaded at lunch. Okay, so Coach Freeze comes out after all this talk. Davey Pollack got him on, and Davey's a great guy. Really like him. I think he's at North Oconee High School coaching his son, that team, and they just won a state championship at Georgia over there, pretty sure. So I like Davey. That's what I'm saying. I don't have any hash towards him, and I'm not making any money on this. I'm just sharing this. I like Davey. I think he does. He should have never got fired. But that's not what we're here to talk about. I like him, and this is not – I'm not making any money. I'm not – I'm just playing the video just to give everybody kind of an idea of what Coach Freeze, his newest release of what he's saying is kind of going on. So let's just tune in here, and I'll stop it, let him comment for a few minutes. I don't want to get copyright struck. I'm going to try not to, so hang on here.
I assure you I never missed a camp day or a recruiting day but if camp got over at 3 o'clock one day and Jill and I go out at 4:30, we absolutely might do that. And I'm not apologizing for that part of it, but my focus is 100% on getting Auburn in that win column this fall. And I think the biggest thing that's causing most of it is the recruiting rankings right now.
Yes, of course. That's what we talked about. And them being 71st and last in the SEC when he's had 2 good classes. And the part I don't understand, if the boosters are pulling money because he's not winning, then that's why they ain't been good in so long. You got to continue to build, even if you change coaches, you still got to have players. So not helping the program out. So, well, by God, either he won't get no more money from me. By God, he ain't won but 5 games. Well, that's just hurting the program then, because you can't win without dudes. They're not going to win, even if they have a 40 or 30th ranked class. If they jump 40 spots, so that is the problem. He's right. He's saying, "Hey, look, I've been to practice. I've been doing recruiting stuff. But yeah, I go to golf. If we done at 3, I'm showing up at 4:30. I'm at the golf course. So what? And he don't have to apologize for that. He don't.
Now, because we've been top 10, my 2 years here in recruiting, and currently we're not. And good Lord, we could spend 30 minutes on why I think that is. But there's a lot of people right now that are operating under a different set of rules.
Now, here's where this is when you can pay people off. Some other teams are operating under a different set of rules. So you're implying that just sounds bad. And AJ called it shitty. Got a little pie on his face. Just because you're not doing well don't mean that the other team is cheating. That all that does, that's a loser mentality. And then that just sets up the fan base, and it's just been that way there for so long already. You've got to change it. Because now when they don't win, they're just going to say, well, everybody else is just cheating. We're trying to do stuff the right way, and, it's okay. Then when they fire him, then the fans are going to turn on the university and say, well, why did you fire him? He was doing it the right way. He was doing it how y'all were letting him do it. I don't think all that's I think it's what he's saying is true, but he just said, let's go back here. So we're going to dissect this, talk about this. And I'm not going to be called a liar by nobody, and I don't think anybody should, because it's just football anyway. We don't even know these people, okay? So let's just be serious. But he said I could take 30 minutes to tell you about that.
A lot of people right now that are operating under a different set of rules, and why I think that is, but there's a lot of people right now that are operating under a different set of rules on what their interpretation is of this settlement and how you should operate. And I'm going to operate in the manner that our administration has interpreted it. And
Hey, look, my hands are tied. I'm going to operate by how they're letting me operate. They're the ones giving me the money. I'm not writing checks to these kids. They may flip on me next week. So I got to do by what they think that they're doing is right. And what they think, he's not telling the whole thing. I think some of it is the problem that he's not winning. And they're going to do by what they feel is right now. And until August the 1st, this gives the boosters and people at Auburn giving money time to build up some more cash flow, and then they can go after them, hard in August. Now they're going to finish number 1 or 5 or 10. I don't think they'll be in the top 10. There's just not enough kids left. And not everybody just wants to flip for money. That's not all. Now some will. So him to say, how can you spend 30 minutes and talking about this? Pay attention to that, man. He's doing what he's letting be told to do, and some of it it's got to be, he just hadn't won. And part 2 is he sold out on Peyton Thorne that he is sure that he was going to be the one to get them there. And he was very, very wrong. Now he's got more pie on his face. These guys want to win now. And firing him is not going to help. You still got to keep building the culture. So I don't like how if they're holding this money because he's not winning, that's not going to help. It's not.
We'll see. I think it's a long game play for us that I think is going to work out in our favor because we're doing it very transparent and the way we believe the settlement is written to operate, if that makes any sense. And the other thing that nobody talks about, I don't listen to much. I'm not on social media anymore. My daughter does it. But Freeze is not getting this receiver in state, and he's not.
He said in state. So he's talking about the kid from Benjamin Russell, number 1 receiver in state. That's what he's talking about.
Do y'all realize on paper, I'm not losing a single receiver? And so how do you do – this is not like, David, in the old days where you just sign 25 guys and then you figure out, who the 85 are. This is actually a salary cap world.
Okay, now what he's fixing to say here He's right. Okay. Now, one, he said, I'm not losing a bunch of receivers. Why do I need to go get a number one receiver? Now, Alabama is going to lose half their receiving core. They're going to have 2 or 3 gone. Now, Wright Williams will stay, and then Bakwa plays both ways, so he'll still be there. But these other guys are going to be gone. So they need another receiver for this next class. But Auburn, they're just going to probably lose the one. If Singleton goes or stays or whatever, so, we'll see. So he's trying to say, hey, look, we're going to go get who we need. And that's what Bama's done too. DeBoer's went and got just what I need. I need a linebacker. I need an edge rusher. I need a receiver for the next class and a safety. And I think we're going to be okay. We got a bunch of offensive linemen last year. They're just getting the guys that they need.
And I like our receiver room. And how do I go and make offers to other receivers at numbers that these other schools are when I'm like, come January, I kind of want to keep the one I have.
That's very important what he just said. That's the new world we live in. So not only are you going to have to go after these kids, you're going to have to go get them, but you got to keep the ones that you got. It's not like, well, they're under scholarship and, they ain't going nowhere. It's just a buckle down here at Auburn and they're going to hang out. They with us. War Eagle. They're Tigers to the blood. Well, when you don't have a real winning program and it's been very bad for a while, it's hard to hold them because the grass is greener somewhere else because they feel like they can get on TV more. They can go to Georgia or somewhere. The staff's proven to be better. Georgia's won. They play for SEC championships. They play for national championships. So the guy could go there and say, well, I want to be, coached by a different set of coaches. Well, it's not a knock on Auburn. We're just saying what it is. But it's going to take time because what takes 5-6 years to mess this up, it's going to take another 5 from now to – I think it'll take a full 2 more cycles of top 10 recruiting and staff. The better the players are, you still got to coach them up. So he's saying, hey, I kind of like our wide receiver room. I do too. I think they're probably the top 2 or 3 in the SEC. They're probably a top 5 room in the nation. But I can't just go get a guy and say, hey, I'll give you $1.2 million. And then when Cam Coleman comes back and says, hey, coach, I'm coming back. I'm going to play 3rd year here. I'm going to stick around again. But I kind of need that other, $500,000. But I thought that we talked about how NIL was going to even things out. It's pay for play. So you're having to pay the guy to stay. That's not NIL. NIL is I think Cam Coleman's got an NIL with, I think it's Popeye's chicken. And like Milroe had one with Beats, headphones. And I just seen one of the other Auburn guys. They had another NIL. So he's trying to keep his roster together without losing them. And you also got to go get players. It's tough right now. That's why you got to have a GM.
Does that make sense? I don't think the fine moms of the world or any of them are that think about all that. They just say he's playing golf and not recruiting. And so, and it's just a lot of dynamics that are into it right now. And I'm confident that our staff, we have not changed a single approach to our recruiting.
Now, listen to what he's saying. Our staff has not changed a single thing in recruiting. But the AD has. They're not writing out they're not taking them pens and putting them on the paper right now. They spent a bunch of money last year. And then they had to keep the ones they had got from the first time. And he lost. They only won 6 and he was worse. I mean, listen, man, we're just talking business. Take the name off the school. Don't say who it is. Don't say the coach's name. We're just talking about a return in your money. That's all this is about. I'm going to put up stock in this certain company. 2 or 3 years goes by. I'm not seeing return. Well, you know what? Cut it. We're done. You tear them down and you move on. Literally, they tear the buildings down or whatever it is they got going on. we're not going to keep sinking money in this. It's not working.
People love it when they come to Auburn, but there's just a lot of dynamics that go into their decisions currently. And come August 1, everybody's got to put this in writing now. And it will, we'll see where everything shakes out after that. And how in the world are you going to convince a third 5-star quarterback to come to you when you have Jackson Arnold and Deuce Knight?
Now, I don't think Jackson's going to stay around. I may be wrong. He might. I don't. He'll play this year and he'll be going somewhere. So because he's not an NFL guy.
How do you do that? Not only how do you do that, but how do you fund it under? If we're really operating under a true salary cap, where we have no idea what an NIL value is until Deloitte decides that, which is our interpretation of the new rules. How do you do that? You can't. I mean, I've sent my general manager to the NFL teams, and we know how much percentage goes in a running back room. We know how much percentage goes in a quarterback room. We know how much percent.
And I don't. He's probably just speaking in general, but I'll comment on that. Every program's different. You can't have a. I just don't see how you can have a set percentage on something that changes. We're talking about, in numbers that are constantly changing. And by the numbers changing are the players coming and going. There's not a set. And he's just probably speaking in general. Okay, so I'm going to take him at his word. I'm just saying, if you're watching and you're thinking, well, that's what's wrong, you can't. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. If you comment on that there can't be running back room, we're spending 11%. Some offensive line, 20%. I mean, offensive line is huge. I mean, to me, that's key. Without them, you're not doing nothing. And of course, you need a quarterback.
Percentage goes in a D-line room, and to your point, you better be figuring out how in the world come January do I retain that D lineman that has the experience that I need. And if you promised all of that already to a freshman, that's an issue. And so it's complicated. And the biggest thing, the calendar's so messed up. You're asking us to sign a class in December, and I won't know who my roster is until January. So how do you do that?
He says, I don't know who's turning pro. I don't know who's going to turn pro. Why don't we have to sign in December? And then I'll get my roster till January. This is still the thing this is still the thing in progress. We're still going to have to work these things out. And we just got to keep moving along. And college football fans, if you like the game, then we just have to take it for what we have right now. So, hey, if you like content, hit the thumbs up right down here on your Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, a little thumb button, just hit that thumb. It don't cost nothing. You can subscribe to the channel. It don't cost anything. You're not going to get emails or nothing weird. Facebook, little blue circle. It's probably right over here somewhere with a thumb on it. Hit that thing a few times too. I appreciate it. It just lets people know to come over here and catch and do some football talk here. And, I'm just honest, and I wanted to go through some of this stuff. And this is the topic for the past week. Everybody's been talking about, Auburn falling off and recruiting. Why are they talking about us? There ain't nothing else to talk about. Because you're Auburn. Have some freaking decency about yourself, bro. Y'all are not the bottom of the barrel. You're not Vanderbilt or Mississippi State or, Arkansas. That Missouri, I think Auburn's better than Missouri as a program. Auburn's just right under the LSU and stuff right in there. There's a gap, but they're under them, and there's a space there. LSU's been more relevant as of late. And Bama won it the next year. and Georgia's been winning. But hey, look, man, the Big Ten's been winning. Ohio State, Michigan, they're taking care of business up north right now. So we all got to come together on it and make sure this conference is the best conference. I'm not hating on Auburn at all, so I'll finish with that. For the conference to be good and us to be productive, in this 12-team playoff, we need all 12 to be SEC teams. That'd be great. Now, if it turns out like basketball and you go first round, we all get thumped and half of them goes out. And then it's just you wind up having like two pretty good teams, and Florida was really good. Auburn was pretty good. Bama was fair. They were okay team. Tennessee had a pretty good team, basketball. That's something we got to work on. It's something we got to work on. LSU is a part of that too. Next topic. LSU is holds on to the number one athlete. I think he's like number one in the nation. He's definitely number one in the state. Lamar Brown. He's like 6'5", 230. I don't know why he's listed as an athlete. He's going to be a defensive end. I would just about bet on it. He's a big guy. He's fast and strong. He's from high school down there in Louisiana. Played at a high school down there. So, look, man, LSU, the old Bayou Bengals have got they got it going on. They have their own in-state guys that they can win. They don't have to go like Alabama here. Alabama and Auburn, fight over some in-state talent, and there's some guys here. And I pulled up the map. We've talked about it before. That we'll have like 6 top guys, in state. Georgia will have like 30. Louisiana, man, they'll have like 20. It is a tiny, small place. They've got crazy talent down there. So look him up, Lamar Brown. Just type him in Lamar Brown on 3. Check him out. This is just one of those generational type guys. And look for him to play probably anywhere he wants. He could probably be linebacker. He could probably play anywhere on defense. Now, also, Georgia Bulldogs, 2027 class. I hadn't seen a lot on this guy. I pulled him up, looked at some pictures. Good-looking kid. Kahan Hughley. Shared him over there on Twitter. Again, you can find me down there. You see in the bottom corner on X, at Big Matt 1977. Let me fix this right here. It's not Big A. It's just a big B and a big M, capital B, capital M, 2 G's on the big. I shared a lot of stuff over there. So if you want to just kind of keep up college football recruiting, that's what I share over there. It's like I'm mostly just reposting a lot of stuff from Hayes Fawcett. To keep you from having to go look for it, just go follow me right over here on Twitter at Big Matt 1977. Is it a terrible loss for Georgia? Well, he's a 27 class quarterback, and he's a 4-star now. They're saying this kid is Khanm, Kahan. He's supposed to be the guy. He's supposed to be the quarterback of the 27 class. Now the Thurman kid or whatever, I think Bama's I think they got him. He's on that list for the 27 class. Oh, let's just go look. Why don't we just do that? I mean, what's the big deal here? So just guessing. Let's see. Okay. Okay. We're looking here. We're looking football recruiting, team rankings, some rivals, 27 class. And this probably matters about none. They haven't even got nothing on there. Well, that don't make no sense. Yeah. Some of the top recruits, it's like A&M, Texas, Clemson, Georgia. 2027. Let's go to quarterbacks. I'm trying to find this kid here. Well, don't even, wait a minute. Don't even show him on there. Well, let's do this then. I'll just type his name in. KHANM HUGLEY. He's from Gainesville, Georgia. Shows he's committed to Clemson. And it's an in-state guy, so that was my thing here. For Georgia, that's not great. Is it bad? No. Does Georgia, they may not need a quarterback for this class, or maybe they're not looking yet. Or now, from where he comes from and where he plays there, that this is Gainesville, Georgia. Coach Niblett, that's a very prominent school. They're a very prominent school. He's a 4-star now. He's a top 190 in the nation, 20th in Georgia. Georgia's still close on predictions. He's committed to Clemson right now, but I mean, you never know. Auburn was looking at him hard. Illinois, Florida. Duke, Notre Dame, Bama, Ole Miss, Kentucky. So he's been offered by a lot of schools. Let's see the Bama 27 class. They have 2 4-star guys. The kid from Mobile, edge rusher, Garror, and then Alexander Ward kid, of course, from Marietta. We talked about him the other day. He's a 4-star all the way across, ranked in top 200 by some sites, top 100 by others. Listed as an athlete from Walton, Marietta. So, all right. So that was that. Now, I just wanted to bring that up for, and like I said, Georgia may not need a quarterback right now. So that's just some news to keep your eye on, Georgia fans. Kid from Gainesville High School, he's going to Clemson. Dabo has poured him in. Now, here's another one. KJ Ford, 4-star edge rusher guy from Duncanville, played with Keelan Russell out there. It's a possibility. He may commit to Bama. It's a high possibility. He may be coming over, and he's a good-looking kid. Let's see here. He's 6'3", 245. Okay. Plays at Duncanville. Let's pull him up here and everybody can see. 6'3", 245. Whew. That's a lot of guy. That is a lot. That's a big. He's a big kid. Edge rusher. 6'3", 245 pounds. Shows him as a 4-star, almost a 93 grade. Bama and Florida are in for trying to get him. Now he's from Duncanville, and that shows SMU, which they recruited Keelan Russell, Bama's quarterback, hard. Oklahoma shows him on there. Texas A&M. Now I had seen where he was on there. Texas Tech was looking at him. So We can go in here on Rivals and pull this up and take a look here at advertising. Of course, you got to watch an advertisement. You know, everybody's got to get paid except me. We can take a look at. Oh Lord. So I mean, he's a big kid, man. You can see him down at the bottom of the screen. Oh Lord, he's bigger than I thought he was. He's a now, you know, and then and a lot of people that watch, you know, film, and I watch these kids a lot, you know, and try to make a good, you know, grade on them. Wow, who are they playing, Matt? That's the thing. I mean, if they play in the meat department over here from Pickensay, I mean, you know, probably not real. He's not real good. He's playing at Duncanville. Okay, so this is a big high school in Texas. So these kids, these other teams they play are not. It's not crap. Now, I'm sure that, you know, maybe their area there is not loaded, but he's just. These tackles are just really having a hard time blocking him. Yeah, we're watching KJ Ford here. Played at Duncanville High School. He'll be a senior. Yeah, come in this year. See him out here on the end making a play, watching, pushing, and waiting. I like it, man. He knows how to play the ball. You know, you can tell he's right down here on the bottom here. Waits, and then dumps his guy, and then makes, you know, jumps for the ball. Sets his feet and has a good, you know, good foot base on him up here. He's watching, he's working. He just pushes the guy into the backfield. That is something that you just don't teach. You know, a lot of kids want to make the sack, and I've told guys, hey, just put him in the backfield and make a problem. Out there, he just out-hustled this kid here. He just jumped the old boy out of his shoes. Yeah, that guy ain't blocking him. You can see his face. He's like, I don't know, what am I supposed to do, man? He could be he's an SEC player. I mean, he knows how to play on the ball. Did you see how he did that? He don't get in too big a hurry right there. Watch him play his guy, hands, pads high, moving his hands, you know, strong, violent hands, and then comes off and finds the ball. So, yeah, I want to share a little bit about him. Kevin Ford, call him KJ, plays at Duncanville High School out there with where Keelan Russell played at. I want to share a little bit about him and see what you guys thought about him. So we'll come in here and do a little extra show, talk a little recruiting stuff. I wanted to put that out there again with Freeze, sitting down with Pollack, and let him kind of. He didn't really say anything any different. But if you just listen to what he says, I mean, he's saying I'm going to do exactly what the staff allows me to do. He can't go wild gun. And, a lot of people say, well, Nick Saban ran football. Well, maybe he did. Because if you're an Auburn fan, you're thinking, well, why don't we just do, number one, Saban did recruit in the NIL era and did finish with top classes, so that's, silly to say that he didn't. It just become what's really changed is keeping the guys you already have. That's the biggest thing that's changed. The portal is crap. That's what's if you stop the portal, their stuff goes away. So Auburn's, fans are thinking, well, why can't we? Well, Hugh Freeze is not. Saban had a lot of leeway to do a lot of things, but the first couple of years he was there, he wouldn't. I mean, especially the first year was not good at all. They didn't have a great first year. So you don't. What I'm saying, don't ask fans don't ask a Freeze, like, well, Saban done this, so why can't we? Don't do that. There's never going to be another Saban. So, I mean, that's just stop doing that. 1, 2, Freeze or DeBoer. No, they're not going to be Saban. He's him. He is who he is, and there's only him. And he figured it out. He put together a great staff, started LSU, and he kept all this talent in state that was great. He kept them there and put together a good staff, and he won. And done the same thing kind of, at Bama. Now, he did reach out and he built their brand to be even bigger. And Bama's just a bigger brand than Auburn. It's their brand can sell more, out West Coast. If you're just a fan, then just be a fan of Auburn and just cheer for the team and watch the game. And if it changes your life that much to where you're just not sleeping, don't watch it. You find another hobby. You need to probably go to the gym or take up some pistol shooting classes over here at BJ's. Go over and see him. Nice indoor gun range. Do something else. Let off some steam. Because you can't let it bother you, that much. And you can't expect Freeze to do backflips when they cut him off at the knees. And I think a little bit of it, because he just seems like this kind of I think I'm a good people reader, not purple people eater. A person reading how they are. He's got a little bit of smart aleck in him. And I think some of what he's doing is he's kind of giving a little smite like, well, you know what? Yeah, y'all do give the money. And since you know everything, I'm just going to go over here and, hey, what do I know? I'm going to go stand over here for a little while. And, since y'all got it. Cohen, you're AD. I mean, yeah, you've coached football and boosters. They're just out here, holding on the money and whatnot. I don't see, what the big deal is. We just, why don't we just let the athletic director be the coach? I could see Freeze being a little bit like that. I could see him being a little that way. Hey, you know what? How am I going to, do this any better than, or how can anybody do it better than what I'm trying to do? And y'all are not trying to, you're not trying to help me very much. Because here, again, I'll have to say it one more time. Not getting Freeze money to land kids. What are you teaching him? Teaching him some kind of huge lesson or something? I don't know how. How are you teaching him a lesson? It's hurting the program. You still got to keep getting kids. And the hard pill to swallow, it's been Alabama fans, y'all just got to be nice to little brother down there. They're just you can see them struggling over there. Just leave him alone. I mean, you ain't got to walk by and I mean, would they kick us when we're down? Yeah, but Bama's been very successful. It's not many times they're down. A down year is 9 wins. You don't think Auburn would love to win 9 games? They would roll the whole county if they won 9 games. They may build Freeze a statue out there. There's got to be a way to keep them where to be prominent of some sort, to you can't expect them to win it, okay? You can't expect them to win all the time. But is it too much to ask, if for Auburn to be, to win 8 or 9 games every year, because I'm telling you, all those days of that, 12-0 or going to play out, in the regular season, I just don't see that happening. I just really don't see that happening anymore. The portal has got it where kids can move around and they don't have to wait. So you can't just stack talent. You can if you buy them. So some people saying, well, you can't stack talent no more. That's the problem. Saban couldn't stack it. Well, you just write them a bunch of checks. You can keep them there. But the hardest pill to swallow is that. Bama fans, you're probably just going to have to be okay with winning 9 or 10 games a year. Auburn fans, you maybe just going to have to be okay with winning 7 or 8 games a year. I think this is kind of be the new norm that, that's not saying Bama won't every once in a while jump up there and win, 11, 12 games. And Auburn may, sometimes jump up there and win, 10 or something sometimes. But for the most part, I think you're just going to kind of see it because the NIL stuff is kind of slowing down a little bit. It is. It has kind of slowed down. Kids are not as – it don't seem like. Now, I don't know. I'm not down there at the universities like all these people out here that's watching that knows everything, all these guys on Twitter that know everything. I mean, they're like they're in the office of the head coach and the GM. They know everything that's going on. I don't. I'm just saying I just use a lot of common sense and pay attention to stuff. I grew up around a lot of business when I was a kid, and seeing transactions and how people did stuff and to business and some legal and some kind of not legal. And I'm talking about like chicken fighting stuff or, I was around that kind of stuff. So there's not, I don't know for a fact of a lot of stuff, but I'm not stupid. I've been around a while and I've had a very interesting life. Been around this state a lot and lived some different places, and I've traveled all over the place. And I'm just saying, Freeze just said it right there a while ago with Pollack. Kind of what's going on. He's just kind of having to go by and do what he's told to do, and that's about all he can do. So fans just enjoy and hope that your team, can – they did just focus on Baylor. I know they want to beat Bama this year because they don't want it to be – I think Auburn beats Alabama. I've said this since last year, and I ain't changing my mind. Bama will probably be what will it be? 9-1 at the time. Is Auburn the 10th game or something, or they'll be 10-1, and Auburn's I have to see the order. Anyway, I think Bama comes into Auburn with probably 1 loss, and I think Auburn's probably going to have about 3, and that'll probably be the Iron Bowl win for Auburn. Could either be their 9th or 10th win this year. They've been close so many times, and they get up to play Alabama. They know who they're playing. Not only are they one of the, the biggest, wellest known teams in the nation, in the world, but they're also your rival of the in-state. And you ain't beat them in 4 years. And your new coach has not done well. Their coach done pretty well. And by then, if Alabama's won 10 at the time of the Iron Bowl, there's going to be more crap talk. And Bama just they're always thinking about that SEC title game and that, that game, 2 weeks from the Iron Bowl. And they just don't really pay a lot of attention to them anymore. Auburn ain't give them a reason to. So they go down there and goof around, and they will get beat this year. It's nearly happened so many times. I mean, I've seen Bama play close games with Auburn and then go blow Clemson out or something. Or, beat a good Auburn team bad, and then go, lose to Ohio State in a, semi game. Not that it don't mean something to Alabama. It's always just seemed like it meant a little bit more to Auburn, the Iron Bowl. In our life, most of the time, there was a period there, and Auburn was kicking their butt, man. Man, they won 4 or 5 years in a row there. And it meant more to them. Bama, got on their bad stretch there and kind of going through what like Auburn's going through. These are just bad slumps that the team's going through right now. And I think they'll figure it out. I mean, I'm just saying right up front, I think Auburn will figure it out. I think the game's changed so much since the last time when Tubbs was there. I think Auburn will have they got a great chance to be that leader, and they're always going to be that leader in the middle, kind of ahead of the middle. And that's nothing wrong with it. That's not a punch. I'm not punching down. It's just, I mean, I just said it a while ago, you don't think they'd love to win 9 games. They would have been fired up to win 7 last year. That would have been an improvement. So I think this thing's going to kind of work out. You can already see NIL is changing. It's slowing down a little bit. And that big pill to swallow that I mentioned earlier, it's hard to keep, especially if you have a bad season, man. I'm telling you. Freeze said it right there with Pollack. He said, we got to keep the kids from leaving that we just got. Yeah, when you win 5 games, instead of costing you $100,000 to keep them, it may be $150,000 to keep Antonio Kite. I'm just, saying him because I've watched him play. I kind of, he's been around up here in this area. I don't know if he's getting any money. I'm just using him as an example because I know him. He's a great young guy. It is harder. You don't think it's harder to keep think about it. If you're just doing business, if you got a company, you got a Fortune 500 company, and they're not turning in a huge profit, and you got a good salesman or two, and they're like, man, I want to go, down the road and work for this other big company. They got a couple of good salesmen, but man, their bonuses are huge. Well, that company, man, you got to try to keep them. Okay, you got to try to keep those, because if you lose them, so I think it's all going to work out in the end. So that was kind of that. I just wanted to share that and go through that, a little bit of recruiting, and we'll see you guys Sunday at 6:00 live right here, 6 Central Time. All right, God bless you guys. Y'all have a great evening, and we'll catch you next time. Okay, Sunday night, 6:00. Peace.